Hi, grade 8. Welcome to our third English lesson. You are going to need your English book. So we're going to be doing activity 8, pages 34 to 36. Today we're going to be focusing on poetry. So I've put a few poetic terms on the screen. I'm only going to go through a few of them so that you know what to answer if you are asked about any of these in the following questions. So the tone is the emotion that the author is feeling as they write. It could be sad, it could be happy, it could be angry, amongst other feelings. Okay, then we have got onomatopoeia. Now with onomatopoeia, it is a sound. For example, hiss, splash, bang. So when we see these words, we know that they are talking about a sound. Then there's imagery. This is a picture that the poet will create in your mind. The theme is the central idea of the poem. It is what it is about and what the poet is trying to tell you. What is their message? Then personification is when you give something that is non-living a human quality. For example, the sun smiles down at me. The sun cannot smile. Therefore, it is personification because we are giving the sun a characteristic of a human, as humans can smile. Okay, then we've got enjambment. So this is where lines run one after the other. Alliteration is when words will start with the same letter consecutively. For example, she sells seashells on the seashore. So there's that constant S sound at the beginning of the word. Then there's rhyme. So if words end in the same sound, we say that they rhyme. For example, mother and brother, they rhyme because they end with the similar sound, the same sound. And then the structure of the poem refers to what it is made up of. How many stanzas does it have? How many lines does it have? Does it have verses? What is the rhyme scheme? So that refers to the structure. Okay, so let's read a poem. It is Easter Island. It was written in 1928 by Robert Irvin Howard. It was first published in Weird Tales in December 1928. So let's read stanza 1. How many weary centuries have flown since strange-eyed beings walked this ancient shore? Okay, so Easter Island, it's a beach island sort of thing. So think because it's an island, there's obviously water and sand. So, what he's saying over here is for how many hundreds of years have gone by since strange-eyed beings, so what he is saying is that they obviously look different to how humans look, walked this ancient shore. So they walked this old part of Earth. Hearing as we, the green Pacific's roar, hearing fantastic gods from sullen stone. So now he says that as we hear the green Pacific's roar, so he's talking about the ocean, Pacific Ocean, roar would be onomatopoeia, as it is mentioning sounds. Hewing fantastic gods from sullen stone. So hewing is when you chop or cut something with an axe or a pick. And so these idols or pieces of stone that have been hewed, I'll show you a picture of them. That is what he is busy saying. So he says that these are fantastic gods that have been hewed and chopped away at to make these images out of stone. The sands are bare, the idols stand alone. So there's no human activity on this island. Impotent gainst the years was all their law. So impotent means to be powerless or helpless. So it's saying helpless against the years was all their law. Now law is refers to traditions or knowledge about certain things that have usually been passed down from person to person. Okay, so here he's busy saying that these gods are powerless, as all of the knowledge about them that's accumulated over the years has not been passed down. So people don't actually know where these idols came from. They are forgotten ages dim and hoar. Yet still then the long tide surges drone. So he's saying even though it's been forgotten or it hasn't been spoken about how these idols have been made, the tide surges on. So this means that you still hear a low humming of the ocean. So once again, this is onomatopoeia. Okay, stanza 2. What dreams had they that shaped these uncouth things? Before these gods, what victims bled and died? What purple galleys swept along the strand that bore the tribute of what dim sea kings? But now they reign over a forgotten land, gazing forever out beyond the tide. Okay, so if we look at the word uncouth, it means that something is lacking good manners, refinement, or grace. Okay, so when he says what dreams had they, he's talking about the people that created or that cut away to form these idols. And he's saying that these idols are not refined, so they are not picture perfect. Before these gods, what victims bled and died. So now he's busy saying, before these were created, what was roaming the earth that created this, that then passed away? Okay, so that they couldn't pass on the information. What purple galleys swept along the strand? So galleys are a low flat ship with one or more sails. Okay, and they're usually used when with pirates. Okay, so he's saying what purple ships went along the strand, so went along the ocean, that bore the tribute of what dim sea kings. So he's pretty much just asking, with all of these questions, he's asking what was there that created these idols. But now they reign over a forgotten land, gazing forever out beyond the tide. So he's still talking about the idols. So he says that they reign over a forgotten land. So when he says forgotten land, he is talking about the people that lived there. They have been forgotten about. Nobody knows who lived there or who created it. So now he's saying that these idols stand over a place that's been forgotten about, that isn't given much attention to, and they are gazing forever beyond the tide. So they're just busy looking out at the tide because they're idols, obviously. So they can't actually look. So this is personification. Okay, but it's just because they are facing the tide. Then we've got the definition of whore, and it's grayish, white, grey, or grey-haired with age. Okay, good. Let's look at the questions. Okay, so first, here we've actually got, these are the idols that it is talking about. So you can see that they're not very refined. You can see that they've got very, very large noses and very strong faces, if that makes sense. So there's nothing graceful about the appearance of these. And then you can see that they are surrounded by an ocean. So this is why we said earlier it is an island. Easter Island is what this poem is about. So now we've got the questions. What is the rhyme scheme of the first stanza of this poem? So remember that rhyme schemes would be A, A, B, B, C, C, or it could be A, B, C, A. It depends. So with this, you need to actually look at the poem, and the first word will be A. Then if the second word at the end of the line rhymes with A, it will be A, A. If it's a different rhyming, for example, so just to give an example, let's say I have a mother, I have a brother. That would then be an AA rhyming scheme. But if it said I have a mother, I have a dad, that would be an AB rhyming scheme because dad does not rhyme with mother. And then whatever words rhyme with the letters that you've already given, then that is going to be labeled the same letter. For example, I have a mother, I have a dad, I have a brother. So then your rhyme scheme would be ABA because mother and brother rhyme, but dad does not. 2. The following verses come from the end of the first stanza. The sands are bare, the idols stand alone. Impotent gainst the years was all their law. They are forgotten ages dim and hoar, yet still as then the long tide surges drone. In 2 sentences, sum up the message that they convey. Okay, so based off what I explained to you while going through the poem, you need to say in your own words what this poet is busy saying with these few lines. 3. What does the word uncouth in line 9 mean? I did explain that to you. 4. Rewrite the following 2 verses in your own words. But now they reign over forgotten land, gazing forever out beyond the tide. I discussed that with you as well, so just go through it. Okay, then here we've got the rest of the questions. 5. Write down an example of a compound noun from the poem. Now you can see in the image next to that, I've put there, what are compound nouns? Compound nouns are two or more words combined to form a noun. An example would be butter and fly. They are two separate words, two separate nouns, but when we put them together, they make the word butterfly. Then 6, it says, quote one word from the poem, which means the same as powerless or ineffective. I did explain that to you. Now remember, when they say quote, you need to use your quotation marks, which I have put in the image next to this question. 7. Quote and explain an example of personification in this poem. Okay, I did go through that with you. Then 8, what would you say is the most important theme or message from this poem? Explain your answer. And then the little block, I've said the theme, the central message, what the author wants you to learn or know, a broad idea about life, and it's usually not stated, it must be inferred. So this means that in the poem, the author is not going to say, this is my message or this is my theme. You need to figure it out. You need to see what you understand from their message. Great job. You guys did very, very well, and I'm really, really pleased. If you need any help, please let me know.